At the park, a little boy said to the CEO sitting alone, "Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom." The park was quiet in the late afternoon, the kind of quiet that only comes when the day is slowly letting go. The sun was low, painting the grass with soft golden light. Children laughed near the swings, couples walked hand in hand, and old men played chess under a tree. Life moved gently around one bench near the path, where a man sat completely still. He wore a simple coat and dark trousers. Nothing about him showed power or wealth. No one passing by would guess that he was the CEO of a large company, a man whose name appeared in newspapers and business talks. Here, he was just another face in the park, but his eyes told a different story. They were tired, heavy, and full of something broken. He stared at the ground, his hands folded together tightly. Every sound around him felt distant, like it belonged to another world. Families passed by, and each one felt like a sharp reminder. A father pushing a stroller, a mother tying her child's shoe, a little girl running back to her parents with open arms. Each scene quietly hurt him. Just a year ago, he had a family too, a wife who smiled at him even when he came home late, a child who waited by the door just to see him walk in. He used to think that working harder would protect them, that success would give them a better life. But life had other plans. An accident, sudden and cruel, took them both away. No warning, no second chance. Since then, the house felt empty, even though it was big. Meetings felt pointless. Money felt useless. People around him spoke, but their words never reached his heart. He tried everything to feel normal again. Work, travel, silence. Nothing worked. The pain followed him everywhere. That day he came to the park without thinking much about it. He just needed air. He needed to sit somewhere that was not his office or his house. Somewhere that reminded him of life before everything went wrong. He chose a bench and sat down, telling himself he would only stay a few minutes. But as he sat there, memories came without permission. His wife's laugh, his child's small hand holding his finger, weekend walks just like this one. His chest tightened and his breath grew heavy. He tried to stay strong like he always did. He looked around, making sure no one was watching. Still, a tear slipped down his face. Then another. He did not wipe them away. He felt too tired to pretend anymore. That was when a small shadow appeared in front of him. He looked up slowly and saw a little boy standing there. The boy was around 5 or 6 years old, with bright eyes and messy hair. He held a small toy car in his hand and looked at the man with open curiosity, not fear. The man quickly wiped his face, embarrassed. "Sorry," he said quietly, though he was not sure why he was apologizing. The boy tilted his head. "Why are you crying, mister?" he asked, his voice gentle and honest. The man did not know how to answer. Adults usually knew not to ask such questions. Children did not. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. "I'm fine," he said, though it was not true. The boy frowned a little, clearly not convinced. He climbed onto the bench next to the man without asking, swinging his legs back and forth. "You don't look fine," he said simply. The man almost smiled. Almost. "I just had a bad day," the man replied. The boy thought about that for a moment. Then he nodded as if he understood something very important. "When I have a bad day," the boy said, "my mom makes me feel better. She's really good at that. And snacks." "I'm so sorry," she said quickly, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder. "He wanders off sometimes. I hope he didn't disturb you." "I'm really sorry about that." She nodded, respecting his answer. "That's good," she said. "Come on," she told her son, "we should let the man rest." For the offer. The park sounded different, lighter somehow. The pain was still there, deep and real, but something else had joined it. A small, unexpected feeling of hope. He stayed on the bench longer than he planned. For the first time in a long while, he did not feel completely invisible. He thought about the boy's words again. "You can borrow my mom." It was such a simple sentence, but it carried a kindness he had forgotten existed. As the sun dipped lower, he stood up and took a deep breath. He did not know why that small meeting mattered so much, but he knew one thing for sure. Tomorrow, he would come back to the park. Not as a CEO, not as a broken man hiding behind success. Just as someone sitting on a bench, waiting to feel human again the next afternoon, the man returned to the park without fully understanding why. His schedule was packed, his phone filled with messages he had ignored, yet his feet carried him back to the same path, the same bench. He told himself it was just for fresh air. Still, he chose the exact spot where he had sat the day before. The park looked familiar again. Children ran across the grass. Leaves moved gently in the breeze. Life continued, simple and steady. He sat down and rested his hands on his knees. His heart felt heavy, but not as heavy as before. The memory of the little boy's voice stayed with him through the night, repeating softly in his mind, "You can borrow my mom." He looked around, unsure of what he was expecting. Part of him hoped to see the boy again. Another part feared it, afraid of feeling something only to lose it once more. He leaned back and closed his eyes, breathing slowly. "Mister." "You came back," the boy said happily. The man felt something warm spread through his chest. "So did you," he replied. The boy climbed onto the bench again, just like before, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. "I told my mom about you," the boy said. "Oh," the man said, curious. "I told her you were sad," the boy continued, "and that you needed her." "And what did she say?" "She sat down a short distance away on the bench, leaving space but not distance. 'I hope he didn't interrupt you,' she said. 'Not at all,' he replied. 'I was hoping to see him. He's very friendly.' And that's my mom." "I didn't know you listened that closely," she said. Noah grinned. "I listen when it's important." They talked about small things, the weather, the trees, the ducks near the pond. Daniel found himself relaxing without noticing it. He did not feel like a CEO here. He did not feel like a man carrying a heavy past. He just felt present. Noah suddenly stood up. "I'm going to play," he said. "Don't leave." As Noah ran toward the playground, Anna watched him carefully. "He likes you," she said to Daniel. "I like him too," Daniel replied. "He reminds me of someone." "It does. You sound like someone who understands." He wanted to argue, to say he was failing at everything that mattered, but the words stayed inside. For once, he allowed someone else's kindness to exist without questioning it. Noah came running back, breathing fast. "Mom," he said, "can Daniel come again tomorrow?" Noah clapped his hands. "Good," he said, "then we're friends now." His heart still carried pain, but it felt lighter than before. For the first time since his loss, he felt something close to peace. He did not know where this path would lead, but he knew he wanted to keep walking it. And tomorrow he would return. Daniel kept his promise. The next day and the day after that, he returned to the park at the same time. At first he told himself it was only a short break from work, but soon he realized he was arranging his entire day around that bench. Each afternoon followed a quiet rhythm. Noah would run ahead, his backpack bouncing, his voice calling out before Daniel even saw him. Anna followed close behind, waving with a smile that felt familiar now. They would sit together, talk about simple things, and watch the world pass by. Daniel found himself looking forward to these moments more than any meeting or deal. At work, people spoke carefully around him, always respectful, always distant. In the park, no one expected anything from him. He did not need to decide. He did not need to lead. He only needed to listen. Noah talked the most. He talked about school, about the birds he saw, about the games he wanted to invent. Daniel listened closely, laughing at the right moments, answering questions honestly but gently. Sometimes Noah asked big questions, the kind that made adults pause. "Why do people leave?" Noah asked one day, pushing his toy car along the bench. Daniel felt the question settle heavy in his chest. He took a slow breath. "Sometimes they don't choose to," he said. "Sometimes life changes without asking." Anna worked long hours at a small office job. Money was tight, time was tighter, still she never complained. She spoke with strength, but Daniel could hear the tiredness beneath her words. "You carry a lot," he said to her one afternoon. She smiled. "So do you." It felt safe. Daniel had forgotten how healing silence could be when shared with the right people. One afternoon, rain began to fall suddenly. Families rushed to leave the park, but Daniel, Anna, and Noah stayed under a large tree. Noah laughed as the rain splashed around them. "This is fun," Noah said. Anna shook her head, smiling. "You'll catch a cold." "Do you like coming here?" he asked. Noah nodded. "Mom says it's good for us." "That's because of you," he said. Noah smiled proudly. Anna returned, her expression serious. "Work," she said quietly. Daniel stood. "We should head out," he said. As they walked toward the exit, Anna slowed her steps. "Daniel," she said, hesitating, "can I ask you something?" He had avoided it carefully, answering only in vague ways. "I run a company," he said. She nodded. "That must be stressful." He realized something that scared him. He was starting to care. Caring meant risk. It meant opening wounds he had worked hard to close. He walked through the quiet rooms, stopping in front of a framed photo he had not looked at in months. His wife's smile. His child's bright eyes. Pain rushed in, sharp and familiar. "I'm not replacing you," he whispered to the empty room. "I'm just learning how to breathe again." "Daniel." Daniel noticed Anna watching him more closely. Something had shifted. As they talked, a man approached them. He was well-dressed, confident, and clearly out of place in the park. "There you are," the man said, addressing Daniel. "We've been looking everywhere. The board meeting." "I'm sorry," he said awkwardly. Anna looked between them, confusion clear on her face. "Board meeting?" she asked. Daniel felt his chest tight. He had known this moment would come. "I'll explain," he said gently. The man left and silence fell. Anna looked at Daniel with new eyes. "You didn't tell me," she said, not accusing, just surprised. "I didn't want things to change," Daniel said honestly. Noah tugged on Anna's hand. "Is Daniel in trouble?" And he was afraid of losing it. The next few days felt different. Daniel still came to the park, but his steps were slower, his thoughts heavier. After the moment with the man from work, something invisible had changed. The bench was the same. The trees were the same. But the feeling was not. Anna and Noah still arrived each afternoon, but Anna was quieter now. She smiled, but it did not reach her eyes the way it used to. Noah remained the same, full of energy and warmth, but even he noticed the change. "Did I do something wrong?" Noah asked one day while kicking small stones near the bench. Daniel's heart tightened. "No," he said quickly. "You didn't do anything wrong." "Then why is everyone quiet?" He was afraid that once the truth was spoken, the simple world they had built would disappear. That evening, after Anna and Noah left, Daniel stayed on the bench long after the park grew empty. The sky darkened and lights flickered on along the path. He realized he could not keep hiding, not from them, not from himself. The next day, Anna arrived alone. Noah was staying late at school for an activity. She sat down beside Daniel, leaving only a small space between them. "We should talk," she said calmly. Daniel nodded. "Yes. You're a good mother." About sitting at a large table meant for a family that never came home. Anna listened without interrupting. When he finished, her eyes were wet, but her voice was steady. "Thank you for trusting me," she said. "I was afraid," he admitted. "I didn't want you to see me differently." "I see someone who is hurting," she continued. "Someone who found comfort in a place that felt safe." "I would never hurt him," he said, "or you." The next afternoon, Noah returned, full of excitement. "Guess what?" he said. "I got a star at school." Just for a little while. In that moment, Daniel saw clearly what mattered in life, and it was not anything he owned. Afterward, as Noah ran ahead toward home, Anna slowed her steps beside Daniel. "He likes having you around," she said. "I like being around," Daniel replied. She stopped walking. "Daniel," she said, "I need to know something." The question struck deep. "No," he said firmly. "If you'll let me, I want to stay." "Thank you," he said. From that day on, things began to change again, slowly. Daniel still worked, but he set limits. He left the office earlier. He stopped answering calls during park time. People noticed, but he did not explain. The park became a place of balance. A place where past pain met present hope. Daniel still had hard days. Some nights, memories returned and refused to leave. But now he had something grounding him. One afternoon, Noah sat between them on the bench and held both their hands. "You're not sad like before," he said. Daniel smiled. "I still get sad sometimes," he said honestly, "but I'm not alone anymore." Healing did not arrive loudly. It came quietly, through patience, honesty, and small moments shared on a simple park bench. And for the first time in a long time, Daniel felt ready to believe that his future did not have to be empty. Time moved forward, quietly but surely. Days turned into weeks, and the park became a steady part of Daniel's life, just like the morning sun and the evening breeze. He no longer came there to escape pain. He came because it felt right. Anna and Noah trusted him now, not because of promises, but because of consistency. He showed up when he said he would. He listened more than he spoke. He learned Noah's favorite snacks, his school schedule, and the stories he liked to tell again and again. Daniel never rushed any moment. He had learned that rushing was how he had lost so much before. One afternoon, Noah sat on the bench drawing pictures with colored pencils. He handed one to Daniel. "This is us," he said. Daniel looked at the drawing. 3 figures stood under a tree. One tall, one medium, one small, all smiling. His throat tightened. "It's perfect," he said. Anna watched quietly. Her heart felt full but careful. She had seen happiness before, and she knew how fragile it could be. Still, she could not deny the change in Daniel. He was calmer, kinder, more present. Daniel had made a decision he had avoided for years. He stepped back from parts of his work that drained him. He trusted his team. He let go of control. People questioned him, but he did not explain. He was no longer trying to prove anything. One evening, after Noah had gone inside to get his backpack, Anna stayed behind with Daniel. The park was almost empty. "I've been thinking," she said. Daniel turned to her. "About what?" "I don't want to save anyone. I just want to be here." "I want to," he replied. When Daniel sat in the small classroom chair, watching Noah smile proudly, he felt something deep settle inside him. This was not replacing the past. This was honoring life as it continued. After the event, Noah ran up to him. "Did you see me?" he asked. "I saw everything," Daniel said. That night, Daniel returned home and stood in front of the photo again. He no longer felt guilt, he felt peace. "I'm still carrying you with me," he whispered, "but I'm allowed to live too." "Whatever you're comfortable with," he said. "No pressure, no promises I can't keep." Daniel looked at Anna unsure. She nodded. "He's right."